I recently uploaded a video on my channel of me doing a cyclocross race lap. The purpose of that video was mainly to help people who have never done a race to understand what it's like. And I did a voiceover where I talked through what it's like to do a lap. I want to follow that up with this video, and I'm titling this one, What I Love About Cyclocross Racing. And I want to explain why I got into it, how I got into it, and what I really enjoy about it. I used to do a lot of mountain bike racing, and I've transitioned over to cyclocross. One of the main reasons for that is, unfortunately, in my area, both seasons start in September and end in December, and the races are usually on the same weekend, and so you have to pick. It's unfortunate. I wish mountain bike racing was in the spring. Cyclocross is traditionally a fall and early winter sport. One of the things that I love about cross racing is it fits into my lifestyle. Like many people out there, we're really busy with family. I have an awesome wife, 2 awesome kids that I love spending time with. I have a really busy job. And so I don't get a ton of training time during the week. I might get 10 hours, and that will include strength training. So cyclocross, because the races are shorter, I don't have to go put in a super hard 2-hour ride 3 days a week. I can go out on my lunch break, I can get an hour of racing in, an hour of training in, that will really help my fitness for cyclocross racing. The division that I race is the Masters division. Those races are 45 minutes. Some of the other races are 30 minutes, some are an hour. You never go more than an hour in a cyclocross race. So I can really fit that type of training into my lifestyle with intervals. And I'll ride about 5 days, 6 days a week. I'll get my longer rides in on the weekends, Saturdays, maybe 3, 4, 5 hours. But my weekday rides are short, about an hour at the most. And maybe 1 day a week I'll go out after work and do a ride for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But that's it for my midday riding. So cyclocross racing really fits into my lifestyle. The races are, like I said, less than an hour, and for some reason I really like that duration as far as the effort I can put out. Putting out a really hard effort for 2, 3, 4 hours is not my strong point. I am better off putting out those shorter races, and no matter how hard you're racing and how much pain you may be in a cyclocross race, you know it's not going to last a really long time. So less than an hour. I also like the fact that it requires a decent amount of bike handling skills, and I love training on my cross bike, going out on trails or dirt roads or finding parks to ride in and just learning how to maneuver my bike. There's something about riding a cyclocross bike on somewhat bumpy terrain that's really fun to me. And so having it be that challenge of riding through mud or sand and keeping the bike, upright, it's a lot of fun learning how to handle your bike in that way. Also, cyclocross races are not overly technical. The technical aspect is, like I said, the mud and the sand and the off-camber sections, and when it's off-camber and muddy, that's really about the most technical you're going to get in a cyclocross race. It's not like a mountain bike race where you're racing over rocks and a lot of roots and really having to now I like that, but I'm saying for some people they may not like overly technical mountain bike courses, and they may want to do cyclocross racing because it's not just crazy technical. Also, the races are usually 2 days. So you race on Saturday and race on Sunday. That's the way most of the races are set up. So that's cool, because if you're really busy that weekend and you can only make one of the days, either a Saturday or a Sunday race, you can pick it. So I like that. I typically, if I travel, I will do both days because I don't want to drive all that distance just for one race. So it's really cool. And with cyclocross racing, because the duration is not really long, I feel really good after the race weekend. When I used to mountain bike race a lot, cross country is what I did. So those races are about 2 hours, and I would be wiped out for a couple of days. It was like Wednesday before I started feeling like I could, be fully recovered. With cyclocross, I feel like on Monday, even after racing Saturday and Sunday, I can get out there on Monday and push hard if I want to. And I typically don't. I use Monday and often Tuesday as easy days. But again, because of that duration, it doesn't really wipe you out. Another thing that I love about cyclocross racing is the venue. If you've never been to a cyclocross race, please go. All the ones that I've been to, and this is typical from what I've seen and heard, The vibe at a cyclocross race is really fun. It's a festive atmosphere. You've got people on the sidelines cheering you on. Some people, heckling you for fun. It's just a really, really cool vibe. A lot better vibe. I've been to some road races, and I don't know what it is about road racers. Some of them, I know there's some really cool ones watching this video, but some of them are just so arrogant about their road racing, and they're just not fun to be with, and the venues and atmosphere can be really tense at road races, and even some mountain bike races have gotten like that. Guys I'm competitive. I love being competitive, but very few of us are going to make a living at bike racing, and there's people out there that just think that they're the cat's meow when it comes to racing, and they're arrogant about it. But that's my tangent. I'm sorry. So cyclocross venues are really cool and really fun, and I love that my family can watch me race. So cyclocross laps are 2 to 3 kilometers in length, so you're going around 6, 7, 8 times, and the family can not only see you more often, but they can, friends or family, they can watch you kind of throughout the course. So they can watch you here, run over this section, watch you here. So it's a much more spectator-friendly sport that my family enjoys going to. With mountain bike racing, you kind of go by, you go off into the woods for half an hour, pop out, grab a bottle, pop back into the woods for another half hour. So not very spectator-friendly. Cyclocross is very, very spectator-friendly. I also like that it's safe. This is one thing I really love about cyclocross racing. If you know anything about road racing, it is far from safe. Not only the training on the road, but the racing. If you crash in a road race at 25 miles an hour, you're hurting. You're covered in road rash. You probably got some broken bones. Cyclocross, you're not going very fast. The courses are on grass. The max you may go on a cross race is 20 to 22, but most of the time you're at 12 miles an hour on grass, and if you crash, you're on grass. It doesn't really hurt. I've never seen anybody get injured in a cyclocross race. Actually, one time the race director put a little ramp, and some guy went over the ramp and didn't know how to do it and endoed, and I think broke his collarbone or wrist or something like that. But other than that, I've never seen anybody get really injured at a cyclocross race. And because of that, I love that my kids used to race. They did not race this season, and I'm not going to talk about that because I don't want to cry on camera. But my kids used to race, and I had no problem with that. It was a great sport for them to participate, to get great exercise, and I wasn't really worried about their safety at all. Yeah, you might slip out on a section and get a little bruise, but other than it's a safe sport, and I love that. Like I said, I love that my kids can participate. Another cool thing about cyclocross racing is you're riding in these beautiful parks. I've discovered parks that I never knew existed, and race directors, they can take a park and just turn it into a race course. It's really cool. They don't have to do it on the mountain bike trails or something like that takes a lot of maybe getting permission or whatever. You can just set up a course almost anywhere you have a field or a park, and it's a really pretty setting. Like I said, that kind of adds to the vibe, to the scene of cyclocross race. Just the fact that you're when you're not racing, you're hanging out in a beautiful park. So that's really cool. Another thing, and I mentioned this in my race lap video, is that you can pass whenever you want. In mountain bike racing in my area, we have a lot of single track, not a lot of double track or open like you maybe would out west. And because of that, it's crucial to get a good start, and it's just you're so tense, you're so worried about getting a good start. And if you get behind someone slow in a mountain bike race on single track, a lot of times the guys in the beginning of a race won't let you around, and the leaders may be pulling away while you're stuck behind someone slow. In cyclocross, you can pass almost whenever you want. The courses are wide, and so you can just come around. So I know that may sound minor, but I like that because it doesn't mess up your race when you can't pass someone. Another thing I like about it is the fact that if it rains, during the race or maybe right before, it's really not that big of a deal. In fact, sometimes it adds to the fun factor by adding some mud. I hate mountain bike racing in wet conditions. I hate mountain bike riding in rain in my area because we have a lot of silicone, a lot of sand in the soil, and it will absolutely chew up your drivetrain and destroy your brake pads in like 30 minutes. And so I don't like doing that to my bike. And if you paid for a race, you set up your travel, and it's raining that day, the race director typically will have the race, and you just got to do it. In cyclocross, I've ridden in rain, I've ridden in really wet conditions, and it's not a big deal. It's also a little bit easier to clean the bikes. They're simpler than mountain bikes. So, that's my personal opinion, but I would imagine other people probably share that same opinion. Also, just the trail. I mean, I'm a mountain bike rider. I ride, and I still do some races, and I care a lot about trail stewardship. And a lot of times I'll see a mountain bike race run in the rain or really wet conditions when honestly you shouldn't be riding on the trails. And riding on wet trails, again, at least in my area, will really chew them up and tear them up. So there's that part of me that, if I have to do a mountain bike race in the rain, I just don't like tearing up the trails, and so that's that. Also, I love the time of the year that cyclocross race is. I love fall, especially in Florida. It's the best time to be on a bicycle, and it's just a beautiful time of the year to race a bike. Typically, there's not as much rain. The weather's cooling off. The leaves are turning. It's just a great time of the year to race a bike. And finally, cyclocross racing is a blast. Again, if you've never done it, get out and do one. And by the way, if you race or if you live in Florida and you want to try racing, we've got a really great race scene. There's wickedawesomeracing.com is one of the sites you can go to and get some information. Josh Thornton developed some of the best cyclocross race courses. He's raced a lot up in New England. He has a lot of experience with nice courses. All the directors set up nice courses around here. I'm really impressed with how good the racing is. So if you want to check it out, go to that website, wickedawesomeracing.com. But like I said, cyclocross racing is a lot of fun. If you haven't done it, just try it. I'm a competitive person. I'm one of those people. There's people that are really competitive, and that's their main reason they ride a bike. Then there's people that only ride for fun, and that's why they ride a bike. I am right in the middle. One of my favorite things to do on a bike is pack up and go to the mountains and just ride for fun, or just head out on a Saturday morning with no agenda and just ride. Then there's the side of me that's competitive, and they both complement each other so well. And so, not only is it fun, but it satisfies that competitive nature in me. So, hope this video was helpful for you. Maybe I went off on a few rants, but I wanted to really lay out what I like about cyclocross racing and hopefully get some more people into the sport and maybe alleviate some of the fears that you've had about racing. It's much less intimidating than you might think. Like I said, the vibe at cyclocross races really helps that, and so it's not really intense and intimidating. So get out there and try it. Hey, thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.